Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. All right, so I listened to my Memphis video earlier today, and there's something that I want to add to it because it's a big deal. Xavier Tillman. Xavier Tillman is someone we need to pay attention to tonight very seriously. And I didn't work him into my equation at all, and it's a big deal, which is why I'm on this camera saying so. He's a center who's going to basically continue to play well, as I'd imagine, because he's filling in for Steven Adams, and he's done a hell of a job doing so. Because of the fact that Ja's out, I do believe it's a good chance you're going to see a lot of him tonight, being featured in probably the same role he's always in, but just probably on the floor a bit more as they try to sort their rotations out. Even though Ja's a point guard, you just think that overall, with also Brandon Clark being out, it's just going to be more opportunities to see other guys on the floor and for them to lean on guys that they've been leaning on even more. So for me to leave Xavier Tillman out, that's a no-go. We have to know that he's going to be down there, and he's going to be a huge part of what they do out there. He's Jaren Jackson's weak help, and I think he's going to be a big problem for us. Also, having Mo Bamba removed from the lineup, not that we were using him very much, but it does limit our options. I look at that and then I say, if D'Lo's coming back, we're going to be incorporating him into our lineup, which is also going to shuffle some things around. I hope that doesn't have an effect on our team that weighs against us in a situation like that, because it can when you consider the type of players that are going out and coming in. So D'Lo's a player who's been out, so maybe his shot may be rusty. Hopefully he doesn't overshoot if he does play. So this is one of those situations where that's kind of how I'm looking at this. It's like, all right, it's always dangerous when players are coming back into the lineup that haven't been there for a couple of games, because they're going to have to try to get their wind back, maybe find themselves in situations where they can't really keep up, maybe a step slow because of the injury or something like that. You just don't know what you're expecting from D'Lo. Obviously, he's a super talented player, so if he plays up to his capability, he's going to add, not subtract. But just in general, because we've had the issues with Darvin Ham sorting the lineup and all of that, it just stands to reason why tonight's game brings about a certain level of apprehension as it pertains to how well I expect the team to play. And because at the end of the day, they are playing for their playoff lives. Memphis is down several players. But given the fact that they had a nice long game with the Clippers, with the rotation that they're going to be running tonight, I don't expect them to have as many problems trying to reincorporate themselves into the units that they now have to get used to without Ja Morant and Brandon Clark. So it would be nice if this was their first game back, or rather this first game for them having to go through this, like we had with the Golden State Warriors having Steph come back. That was the first game they've had to deal with him in that way, trying to incorporate him back into the lineup. I thought it worked in our favor because they overshot to a degree from behind the arc. So maybe we're looking at a dynamic where that could be the case in a situation like that, where you look at Dylan Brooks coming back, who didn't play in the Clipper game, who was also suspended. So maybe he'll overshoot like he did in the last one, which kind of helped us a lot. So these are things that I thought were very important to try to bring back into the equation and talk about. Dylan Brooks, as I mentioned many times, I didn't bring it up in the video previous to, but every other Memphis video I've ever made, I always mention that he does tend to be inefficient against us, and that usually works against his team. And I thought that was what happened in the last matchup against them, or rather the ones before that, when we did get a victory. And, I wonder if that's something that we'll see tonight. But we have to understand he's going to make up for it in a lot of ways, and he's an aggressive player, meaning he can play well, very well, in the midst of, of a lot of different ways of helping his team. Passing, rebounding, obviously slashing, getting to the line, things like that. So Dylan Brooks is also someone we have to be very, very aware of tonight and expect to be obviously causing ruckus at all times. So as a disruptor, without, again, Brandon Clark down there, I just expect other people to try to provide what it is that they felt he would bring to the table. So that's more offensive rebounding from other guys, attempts and things like that. Now, that's where we come in with Vanderbilt. He should be able to disrupt them completely without Brandon Clark on the floor. This should be a situation where Jaren Jackson has to do a lot. Xavier Tillman's going to be asked to do a lot. And so our key, just as I said in the previous video, was to get Jaren Jackson in foul trouble. that is still something I think is key to tonight's game. We just want to open up that paint so that we're not rendered to being a three-point shooting team. Even though we can get hot from behind the arc, we know if we have the right people shooting it and they're hot, we can be good this year at this point. But we don't want to have to be rendered to the three-point arc, because that's essentially what we did to the Golden State Warriors. I mean, we pushed them all the way out of the paint with AD and our guys. More or less, they were just not allowed to do anything but shoot threes. That's why they launched 52 of them. But that's something we don't want to happen to us in this game with Jaren Jackson and Xavier Tillman and all those guys. And of course, I think Anthony Davis and Vanderbilt are going to have a lot to say about that themselves. And, we'll do what we have to do. But, yeah, I just wanted to come on here and make sure I mentioned Xavier Tillman's name. I do expect he'll play well, man. He sets good screens. He defends well, rebounds the ball well. Definitely an inside presence scoring the ball. So, and his confidence is continuing to grow, and they're continuing to trust him. And I do believe that he's probably going to be the center that they lean on probably into the playoffs, as, Adams' knee injury. That's not something that I expect he's going to be coming back and just being all spry on. I think Xavier Tillman is probably the future. So we'll see. We'll see. I could be wrong about that, but nevertheless, he's stepping forward, and the minutes will be out there for him to shine tonight in our building. So, with this being Powell night as well, I don't think I got a chance to really even mention that. I kind of want to make a separate video about Powell, but that's someone we're going to be celebrating tonight. So we're going to put him up there. Number 16 is going up in the rafters tonight. So we're so very proud of Powell's tenure with the Lakers and his Hall of Fame career as a whole, and the championships that we won, and All-Stars, and all the different things that he did both on and off the court. And we're looking to celebrate him and his family tonight. So that's going to be dope, man. Number 16, we love him to death, and it's just so very good to finally see that number go up, and long overdue, obviously. So, yeah, that's what it is, man. Lakers. We got some work to do tonight. We cannot be distracted, just like we were with the LeBron ceremony. We can't be distracted by the Powell ceremony. We got to get a victory for ourselves, get a victory for Big Powell, because obviously that was all he was about. And we won championships, and we had some battles too. So, the Lakers know what they got to do. Anthony Davis is down there, and he's been playing great ball. He's basically playing like an MVP right now over the last 2 games, averaging 39 points, something like that. Probably like 14 boards, some ridiculous amount. But we just need him to continue to be effective in closing these games out, calling for the ball in the fourth quarter down the stretch of these basketball games, and making sure that he's the one that we rely upon to make the last shot, or at least be the guy that the defense expects to shoot. And if that's, if that allows us other people to be decoys, so be it. But we need the defense focused on him, and we'll let the chips fall where they're made with that. So that's a recipe for success, whether LeBron is out there or not. I really believe that. Obviously, we can trust the king, but our number one option should definitely be Anthony Davis in most situations, just at volume, because at the end of the day, he's very difficult to guard, and he's younger. And at this point, with the numbers that he's been able to put up this season, it just stands to reason that he's ready to take that step forward. And I think we can lean on him and get the best out of ourselves if he's healthy. So he's never going to be 100% healthy. He has that foot that he's trying to fight through. But the way he's been playing as of late, it looks like it hasn't really been bothering him too much. So I want the Lakers to just continue to be smart with his health. I guess saving him from himself, if that report was true, is probably the way to go. And being good in regards to handling these injuries with these ankles is really the only way to play it. Even though we've all been frustrated about how D'Lo's ankle injury has gone, and we've kind of been leaning on Schroeder to play through his. At the end of the day, these injuries are piling up, and the only way we're going to be all right is if we let them heal. Because if we have these injuries lingering into the playoffs, they will be the reason we're out of here. When Bamba's knees hobbled, D'Lo's leg is hobbled, you know what I'm trying to say? It's just not something you want across all of the players simply because you didn't let them rest or heal. We have a deep team. So the guys who are hurt, honestly, should not be on the floor too much. I think that's what it comes down to. We do have the players, especially with our guard spot. So let's continue to try to for me, I want Schroeder to rest tonight. I really do. I know that the team's not thinking about that. Obviously, he's not thinking about that, but I just feel like a game off for his ankle could go a long way in keeping him healthy down the stretch of these basketball games. And it's not like we over need him, especially if D'Lo's coming back. So we'll see. We'll see how Darvin treats it. Plenty of guards to play. Um, so that's where my head is, man. That is where my head is. Just want to come in here, tap in, and let everybody know that I have forgotten a few things that were key, very key. And Xavier Tillman is not someone to be trifled with. If you're going to assume that you're going to have an easy night against that dude, he's gonna make you pay. That's what I know. So that's what I want to say. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. Out.